Many times we read the gospel accounts of Jesus doing miracles and we just lean back and go, wow, and we're awestruck by that. And that's not wrong, but so many times those miracles aren't the point. Those miracles are very simply kind of the front introduction to what's really going on, and there's more behind the scenes than we usually see or interpret out of it. Here's an example in Matthew 8 verses 1 through 4. When Jesus came down from the mountain, large crowds followed him, and a man with leprosy came to him and bowed down before him and said, Lord, if you are willing, you can make me clean. And Jesus reached out with his hand and touched him, saying, I am willing, be cleansed. And immediately his leprosy was cleansed. And Jesus said to him, see that you tell no one, but go show yourself to the priest and present the offering that Moses commanded as a testimony to them. Well, this is really good stuff. We see this leper cleansed of his leprosy instantly. We shouldn't really question that. Jesus is God incarnate. He created everything. So he can recreate, he can heal immediately by simply what he does and says. It's not difficult to expect that. Well, I think we don't expect it sometimes. And so when the miracle happens, we're, whoa, wow. And really, that's what we should expect. You know, that's really what's going on here. And this leper is cleansed, and Jesus says, hey, don't go out and broadcast this. Just go do what you're supposed to do before the priest and let him know you're clean and you can enter back into civilization the way everyone else does. Okay, that's that. What's the real message here? It is the attitude of the leper. Because when he comes to Christ, he doesn't come and command Christ to cleanse him. He doesn't try to manipulate the Lord. He doesn't try to use fancy language, but he knows who Jesus is, and he knows Jesus can cleanse him of his leprosy. And so he says the magic words, I like to say, the way we should pray about everything. He says, Lord, if you are willing. Now, he is saying simply, if it's your will, Lord, I know you have the ability to cleanse me. Would you cleanse me if it's your will? That's the long version. Okay? It's reminiscent of Luke chapter 22. In verse 42, he says, Jesus in the garden is praying, and he says, Father, if you are willing, there it is. Same phrase exactly. Remove this cup from me, this process of dying and being sacrificed. Yet, not my will, not what I want, but yours be done. This leper was right in tune with that. And he sets an example for all of us. When we have problems in our life, when we are confronted with things that we can't handle normally, when we need the miraculous, when we are ill, when we are distressed, when we are financially overwhelmed, it's not a matter of, can Jesus do that? He can. It's a matter of if it's his will, then we know he can do it. And that's why we should pray, Lord, if you're willing, I know you can do it. And let the Lord do what he knows is best for us. That's very simple. That's not a hard one to figure out. And that example is there, and Jesus shows it in the very last hours of his human mortality. And this is reflective of how we need to pray about everything in our life. When we do that, we will see the miraculous. And it's not always going to be the miraculous you're asking for. It might be quite radically different. And that's the beauty of it. Well, I think he should A, B, C, D. And God knows that that's not the right way at the right time. But he knows what will take you through, help you step around, help you endure till the end, as we read in the book of Revelation about all of those 7 churches, enduring till the end, receiving the reward. Well, there's a reason for that, and we need to be open to the will of our Savior, working in us, for He can do the miraculous, and He is willing, but He knows what, when, where, and how is best. We don't.